Mm-hmm.
What is going on, Movie Meals? Movie Meals, we're back. We didn't go anywhere. Thank you, Movie Meal patrons, Kimberly, Karen. Let's get that right off the bat. Go join the patrons. Guys, like, subscribe, share. Help us get to that 2,000. That's the goal. We don't have to make it an end-of-the-year goal. It's not an end-of-the-year goal. It's just a goal we have. Just try to up a little bit, and you guys have been really helping. And once that's done, once we cross that 2,000, we're going to give someone who's been commenting. We've had some really great people. We see you. We appreciate you. We love you. We're going to give them one of these bad boys, one of these free hoodies. Hey, even if you don't love our opinions, even if you hate us and you stumble on us every now and then, you're like, these guys stink. Subscribe anyway, share anyway. It's a free hoodie, okay? It's a free hoodie.
Nothing wrong with the free hoodie.
We're a little late. Merry Christmas to those who celebrate Christmas. To those who don't, fantastic. I hope everybody's staying healthy. I'm not. I'm going to cough through this whole video. I got a cough already locked and loaded. Kyle, entertain the folks.
Hope you liked my giggling, because I didn't expect that.
I think I'm
no, it's bad out here in these parts. I
know a whooping cough is going through apparently this side of the country really bad, is what I heard. I don't think
that explains it.
I don't think that's what I got, because I've heard people with whooping cough before, and it's a different type of cough, man. It's brutal out there. But yeah. Anyway, I'll be sweating through this video. It's so dang hot in my apartment. 15th floor, ridiculous. The heat rises. I don't know if you pay attention in science class, but heat does rise. Anyway. We're here for Maestro. We're going to also have up a review for Poor Things, which we finally both got a chance to see. We've seen a bunch of different movies. Kyle's going to run and see Iron Claw after we're done filming. I've already seen that. Loved it. There's a few movies we're just not going to get to, that just aren't going to happen, that I want to see, that we just aren't going to get to. But our end of the year list will be out, I believe, Saturday. Is the plan, right? Is that New Year's Eve? That's Saturday? Or is New Year's Eve?
No, Sunday's New Year's Eve.
Well, we're dropping that on New Year's Eve then. I want to drop that on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, that's
so maybe
fine.
We'll take an extra day. We'll film maybe Saturday. Can you film Saturday? You busy?
I think I can film Saturday. We can make
we'll talk off camera. Anyway, watch out for that. It's one of my favorite videos. Follow us on Letterbox. I don't keep track of the movies in a list on Letterbox. I like compiling it all at the end of the year, seeing it all in one big shebang. I don't like keeping track throughout the year. So anyway, let's get into Maestro. I saw it a while ago. Kyle got a chance to finally see it when it dropped on Netflix. So, Kyle, what were your thoughts on Maestro?
The biggest takeaway is the craftsmanship that comes from Bradley Cooper. I really appreciated and really adored what he did when he came to his first time directing with A Star Is Born. I thought for a directorial debut, it was very impressive, and you can tell that he's been learning along.
Directorial debut.
Say that again?
This is not his directorial debut.
Oh, I'm referring to A Star Is Born.
Oh, I missed that. My bad.
All good. But you can just tell, like, he was able to absorb anything he could off the directors that he was able to work with throughout his phenomenal acting career so far, and he was just able to turn out something great with The Star Is Born. And here with Maestro, you can tell that he takes it up not just one notch, but like 5 notches in some scenes, in some regards. I thought that, he's proven himself to be a very capable director and a very impressive director, and I thought, like, just plenty of the scenes were some where you would just be taken aback and you would just appreciate the craftsmanship of them. On top of that, I thought that the performances of him portraying Leonard Bernstein was good overall. I wouldn't say great, although there are parts in his performance that are great, but just not overall a great performance in my opinion, but it's still pretty good nonetheless. But I think the real standout was Carey Mulligan, who plays opposite of him, and she just, in fact, to me, carries the movie. I thought she does a phenomenal job, whether it's just in solo aspects and solo scenes of hers or just playing opposite of Bradley Cooper, because a lot of the movie does hinge on Leonard Bernstein and his wife, whose name is unfortunately escaping me at the moment, but you could tell that the story is that focus of that relationship and the complexities that came along with that relationship during a tumultuous time when it comes to whether you were gay or bisexual or any sort of nature when it comes to that, which Leonard Bernstein was. So you could just see that the movie was trying to do a solid portrayal of both of those real life people and the ebbs and flows that came with their relationship, which I'll talk more in my negatives, but overall you could see that was the direction, and between those two performances, that's where the main positive when it comes to telling that story is.
I saw this in a theater. It was playing at our local film society here in Philly. So we got a chance to go see it with there was a handful of people in the theater, but it was all much older people. And I was shocked at the perception that has been. I remember debating it with Kyle, and then I got on Twitter the next day, and all of a sudden I was like, oh, wow, I thought Kyle might be in a slight minority of people who just liked it, but a lot of people don't like it. A lot of people are loving it. I don't know what movie y'all saw. I thought this movie was fantastic. Now, look, I didn't know much about Leonard Bernstein before this movie. I'm not Jewish. I didn't know. I knew a few things, but I didn't know anything. So I'm looking at it from a very, very different lens than a lot of other people. So those opinions, extremely valid. But what I saw was Bradley Cooper give the best performance of his life. I don't know how people don't see that. I see all this Oscar Beatty thing, and I don't even understand that. Because to me, Oscar Beatty movies don't end up transforming into the character. I thought I was watching Leonard Bernstein, and I've seen some clips of him before. I've seen his mannerisms and things like that before. And so I was shocked that this is not like, I was sitting here like, wow, Cillian's got real competition for the Oscar. I still don't know if he's the front runner, but I do think he is deserving of a nomination. I don't think he's out here baiting for an Oscar. I think Bradley Cooper, he said he's been working on this movie for a long time. So I don't get where that's coming from. I thought this movie was masterful. I think Carey Mulligan is as incredible as Kyle said. I don't know if she steals the show, because I think I was watching two powerhouses work together, and I just was enthralled by it. I think everything else you said, I echo. I don't know. Sorry. I don't know if I think this movie overall directing wise is better than A Star is Born. I think it's very similar. I do think he brings some newer things to this movie that I think really work overall. So I really enjoyed his direction. But to me, the movie is all about these performances. It reminded me a little bit of Mank, which was another Netflix movie with Gary Oldman. But I thought this was so much better, because Mank, I thought, was just okay with an incredible performance. And I thought this, legitimately, I would put this in Silver Linings Playbook as Bradley Cooper's best performances. Star is Born, I would put probably the lower third there. Myself, I don't love A Star is Born. I think it's good. I think Lady Gaga steals the show in that more than anybody else. But I was blown away by this movie, and it all started with the performances. I just couldn't handle how much I loved it. I walked out of the theater in a gasp, and maybe it was because I saw it in a theater, didn't watch it at home. I don't know. That usually doesn't impact. Sometimes I think that does have a small impact, but I don't think it's a major impact. I think when you watch something, obviously the theater's going to help. I don't think that necessarily changes how you view a movie. I mean, I watched Past Lives at home, and Past Lives is phenomenal. I wish I could have seen that in the theater, but anyway, I love the movie. I do have a couple nitpicks, but I love the movie. I thought it was brilliant. I thought the performances were brilliant. I thought everything was great. I love the use of cinematography, and I love the use of color. I thought the way he used color was excellent in this movie. But and Carrie does steal the show. Or not steal the show. I don't think she steals the show. I think she is phenomenal as always. Okay.
Yeah.
Loved her in her little bit in Saltburn too. Love Saltburn. I don't get Kyle and I are disagreeing in 2023, and I love that, because there's a lot of really great cinema out. But Kyle, what are your negatives with the movie?
Well, I thought the movie was doing a fair enough job at establishing the ebbs and flows of their relationship. As I said previously, I still felt a little empty when it came to how those ebbs and flows came about within the narrative. I felt like, despite it being okay that the movie jumps around a bit throughout their relationship, I also felt like it did it a bit too much, to where I felt lost or out of touch with how things led up the way that they did. And at the end of the day, I just felt like it was a lot of the spectacle, which was very good spectacle, but narrative-wise, despite some very good performances, I just felt kind of empty and lacking more understanding of Leonard Bernstein the person and Leonard Bernstein the composer as well. I didn't feel like I learned a lot more about him. Not that I necessarily need to know everything about the guy, about his career, because this movie is clearly trying to show the more personal side of his life, the more private side of himself and the relationship. But even there, I felt like while the performances were good and were trying their best to convey those complexities, I still felt like there was many instances where I felt lost along the way, narrative wise. In that, I just needed a bit more details to put the puzzle pieces together, rather than it feeling not like it was tying itself up very well. So yeah, I still wouldn't call this like a bad movie. Certainly, there's a lot to like within this movie, but I just don't feel like it works all the way through in regards to telling about this guy's career, or about the relationship a bit more than I would have liked it to. So that's about it for me.
The only negative I had was the pacing, and I do feel a little bit of what you're saying. I do think the pacing is tough in the movie. I think Star is Born really drags, I think, in its pacing with Bradley Cooper at the directing helm. Here, I think the pacing was kind of, we didn't get as much time to breathe sometimes in scenes, and I felt that a little bit, and I wish we could have. I still think we got a really great look into who the man was. But I do think the pacing is the only real big issue out of anything like that. There is one scene I've seen a lot of people roast, and I do agree. There's one scene where it's like suddenly out of nowhere, it's just wildly like different in tone, and it's a very short scene. It's only like 2 minutes. It's him on the street in the park, and it's just talking to people, and he's just like, it's like slapstick comedy all of a sudden, and it's kind of jarring. Outside of those two little nitpicks, I think this movie is masterful. I don't know. I honestly don't know if it's going to make my top of the year, and I loved it. That's how competitive I think this year has been.
True.
Because 2023 has been fantastic, and there's still movies to see. I just finished a couple movies I've been late on. I'm in the middle of one right now. So we're just trying to rush through and get what we can here at the end of the year for things that might possibly contend. But yeah, all right. Well, guys, what do you think of Maestro? Comment below. Let us know. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you, Mumio patrons. Get one of these by doing all that other stuff. And as always, thanks for watching, Mom.
See you guys.